This is coming from the Telegraph. And the headline, broadcasting Earth's location could provoke alien invasion. Oxford scientists
Stop
warns.
doxing Earth.
Oh, do not dox the Earth. I mean, I feel like me and this Oxford scientist have something in common. That's why I don't broadcast my location, even to my internet service provider, apparently. So here it goes. NASA's plan, because the aliens could invade, is the same reason. NASA's plan to beam Earth's location into outer space could provoke an alien attack. Oxford scientists have warned. No, those Oxford scientists are pretty trippy dudes, man.
I feel like it's one Oxford scientist and he gets all the headlines.
They're supposed to be like the elite of the elite of the elite. They're sort of in a sort of magician's coven of their own. These Oxford scientists. Researchers at the U.S. Space Agency have backed a broadcast message dubbed "The Beacon in the Galaxy," intended to, I almost said the bacon in the galaxy.
I wouldn't be mad.
Intended to greet extraterrestrial intelligences.
That'd be
It is an updated form. Yeah,
to the aliens.
It is an updated form of the Arecibo message, broadcast in 1974 for the same purpose. Improvements in digital technology mean that more information can now be broadcast. The proposed new message includes basic mathematical and physical concepts to establish a universal means of communication, followed by information on the biochemical position of life on Earth, composition, rather. It also includes the solar system's location relative to major clusters of stars, along with digitized depictions of the solar system itself. Earth's
Are they admitting
surface.
that space is all digital?
Ooh, the holographic.
What if we go out into space and the further we go out, we just appear in the internet?
The more pixelized.
The more pixelized it becomes, like
polygonal we look.
Yeah, and then we just appear in some metaverse.
Graphics are horrible all the way out here. Earth's surface and male and female humans. Oh!
Yeah, they
bigoted scientists.
They need to be canceled.
Just adding male and female humans?
Horrible. Get with the times.
You're canceled, Oxford. The message concludes with an invitation for intelligences to respond. But Anders Sandberg.
Anders Sandberg. I haven't heard him in a long time. He's part of Oxford now? I thought he was from like Sweden. He's a transhuman. Where did you learn of this man? He's a transhumanist.
Yes. I don't know. I'm just agreeing with you.
No, Anders Sandberg is like a big-time transhumanist. He had a documentary about like living forever and... Hold on. Look, keep reading. I'll look him up.
Well, he's scared of aliens, apparently.
Okay.
But Anders Sandberg, a senior research fellow at Oxford's Future of Humanity Institute, FHI, warned that sharing such information with intelligent life presented a risk that must be considered. Dr. Sandberg told The Telegraph that although the chance of the message reaching an alien civilization was low, quote, it was such a high impact that you actually need to take it rather seriously. He said that the giggle factor surrounding the search for extraterrestrial intelligence meant that many people just refused to take anything related to it seriously, which is a shame because this is important stuff, Gonz. It's not a joke, not a giggle factor. Overall,
sorry, that makes me giggle.
Dr. Sandberg, both the risk and the potential benefit were small, given the difficulty of traversing vast spans of interstellar space. A message received even by a very advanced civilization might amount to little beyond, as Dr. Sandberg put it, a postcard saying, "Wish you were here." The Arecibo message is one of several broadcasts, including some advertisements already sent by humans into space. We're sending ads into space, guys.
I told you, it's the whole
advertising to the aliens.
It's the Z. It's part of the Z thing where you can advertise on SpaceX.
Yeah, it's all different. It's a different thing, but this was we're advertising our male and female forms. Quote, the poor aliens might already be getting various messages sent for all sorts of reasons, said Dr. Sandberg. A better approach than individual groups firing off ad hoc missives, said Dr. Sandberg suggested, would be humanity coordinating as a species. Quote, we're not great at coordinating, but I think it's a nice exercise, he said. Toby Ord, Dr. Sandberg's colleague at FHI, made similar arguments in The Precipice, a book published in 2020, which he analyzed existential risks facing humanity. Dr. Ord suggested that it might be wise to have public discussion before sending messages to aliens, pointing out that, quote, even passive SETI, listening for the messages, could hold dangers as the message could be designed to entrap us. Ooh. Quote, these dangers are small, but poorly understood and well managed. The downside could be much bigger. Gonz, gonna say.
Oh no! When you get really quiet, you're not cutting through that sound gate, man. I don't know.
That is very strange, man. That is very strange. Well, luckily the podcast listeners will get it all. Overall, wrote Dr. Ord, the main relevant question is the ratio of peaceful to hostile civilizations. We have very little evidence about whether this is high or low, and there is no scientific consensus.
Is there any evidence for anything?
For as far as aliens?
Yeah.
Not as far as these guys are concerned. Given the downside could be much bigger. So it takes about 8 paragraphs for them to repeat the idea that there could be downsides, but we don't know. But I think you guys get the point. Scientists, including Stephen Hawking, have in the past warned that these messages could be risky. In a documentary released in 2010, Professor Hawking pointed out that on Earth, interactions between civilizations on different levels of technological advancement tend not to work out very well for the lesser advanced group. Quote, we only have to look at ourselves to see how intelligent life might develop into something we wouldn't want to meet.
Oh my gosh.
Professor Hawking said, citing the arrival
views about humanity right there.
Citing the arrival of Europeans, Europeans, Gonz, in the Americas. These aliens will be as the white man.
Yeah, it's, of course. Yes, that makes
worst scenario.
It makes all the sense in the world.
White aliens would be the worst possible thing.
We're made by the aliens.
We're made by the white ones.
So it continues. You know what? These alien scientists, they got a cushy gig, man. Well, they don't need any evidence. They don't need anything.
I find it interesting that Anders Sanders is mentioned here because Anders Sanders is, or was maybe, part of the Future of Humanity Institute. Let's see. There was where was my little bio on him that I had? So he is definitely from Sweden, and he was a PhD of computational neuroscience from Stockholm University, and he worked on neural network modeling of human memory. And he was featured in a transhuman documentary where he was like straight up. I wish I had the clips because he was straight up like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna upload my mind to the cloud." Oh yeah, we're gonna live forever. Like we're gonna do that. Like this guy was super amped about all that. And
interesting how he's afraid of the aliens.
He's afraid of the aliens.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got too excited.
I think it's a pretty good business model, Gonz. All you really need is a big antenna. Like if we could get a big antenna and you just get a website, and for $100, we'll just shoot whatever you want into space for the aliens to hear. We could shoot this podcast.
We could. Are we going to use that big slingshot thing that NASA's using that can hurl things 5,000 miles per hour towards the firmament?
No, that's how we're going to deliver the supply drops to the aliens.
We need a contract with NASA to use that thing.
It's actually not that expensive to get an antenna that could at least, shoot some signals out into space. I don't know how strong they'll be by the time they get to the aliens, but it's a totally doable endeavor. We could shoot this podcast. Maybe they'll produce the show with their glorblats, their galactic credits.
Yeah. So Anders Sandberg here in this transhuman wiki, he's mentioned as a science debater, futurist, transhumanist, and author. And he was chairman of the Swedish Transhumanist Association. It He's also the co-founder of and writer for the think tank Eudoxa. And here's what's interesting. His other interests include physics, astronomy, biomedicine, mage, the ascension, psychology, complexity, theory. Yeah, what the heck is that? Like physics, astronomy, biomedicine, mage, the ascension, psychology.
Mage, like MAGE?
Yeah, mage, the ascension.
You're putting a weird sort of on that. Is it mage? Like a magician?
That's what I think. MAGE.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce MAGE? Mage, right?
Mage.
Yeah. Mage.
Yeah. Mage. Not mage. Mage. Mage.
Okay. But it's just weird how
email Gonz.
Everything else is theory.
Yeah, it's like a
art.
joke. What is that though? What is Mage the Ascension? Let's look at that.
Let's look it up. Let me do a quick Google-a-goo.
I bet it's a comic book or a video game or a trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
Mage the Ascension. Yeah, there it is right there.
Let's see.
Mage the Ascension. It's a comic book.
Okay. Wolf.
Game.
Wiki.
It's a game. Reality is not fixed, but rather a set of agreed upon assumptions enforced by the collective will of humanity. Mm-hmm. The sleepers. Mages are those people who recognize that reality is not static and realize that though the application of their will, usually channeled through rituals of others or other similar mystical or scientific practices, reality can be changed.
Oh, of course. Oh, they talk about the technocracy down here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Let's see here. Game history. There's a rule book.
Oh, there's a lot of this is a whole thing. So
this is a tabletop RPG. What kind of game is this? It looks like a trading card game.
Deep Umbra. Yeah, there's a huge lore behind this whole thing.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing.
The Sleepers.
Just tell me what kind of game it is already.
Akashic Brotherhood.
Got all of it. It's got everything.
Interesting. Ooh, the New World Order.
Uh-huh.
The Technocracy, Iteration X, New World Order, Progenitors, Syndicate, Void Engineers. And then you have the Crafts.
It's a role-playing game.
The Hollow Ones.
It's like tabletop role-playing, like
Knights Templar. Yeah. Ooh, the Nefendi.
Who is a nerd. Who knew that the Oxford scientist would be a nerd?
But what's funny is that just the way they listed it, next to physics, astronomy, biomedicine, Mage the Ascension, psychology, complexity theory, art,
it's kind of
science
like quirky,
fiction, role-playing.
Like a quirky, charming
computer
type
graphics,
of bio thing.
AI, cognitive science,
Uh-huh.
Oxford.
Okay.
Yeah.